poor man is who has the richest heart.
Hello everyone, I'm Trisha. You are listening to an interview with Louise James.
Hello Trisha, thanks for interviewing me today.
Cool, so Poor Man is your chosen song to talk about today. Could you tell us more about this song?
So my song Poor Man, this song is one in English within a whole album I did in Spanish, which I recorded in Colombia. The album's called Cantos de la Montaña, but this specific song is a special thank you to all of the people who are slightly living in disadvantage or in poor countries, third world countries, poor people who are, in my opinion, so often the most generous. So I think the punchline in this song is, ironically, the poor man or the poor woman is who has the richest heart. That's been my personal experience throughout life. And this song is a thank you to all those lovely people who've helped me along, not only by sharing a meal with me or giving me a place to stay when I was traveling, which was so nice of them, but also just for taking me in like a close friend, like family, and, you know, sharing with me.
Ah, interesting. When did you start writing songs?
I started writing songs at an early age of 11, and my songs have always had, you know, a bit of a social commentary message. I haven't only written love songs. I have, of course, written lots of love songs, but that hasn't been my main focus. My main focus has been themes of like ecology, peace, social inequality, women's issues, and so on.
And what are your musical influences and artists?
My main musical influences and artists, well, I've got a wide range. In Colombia, being raised in Colombia, I would have a lot of, well, actually like Mexican style of music. Rancheras would have been a huge influence. They would have been what was played in the small towns where I spent my childhood. But the people I grew up with were mainly European, so they also would have sung a lot of blues and country music. So I have all of that and all the South American influences, which you can hear on my album.
Interesting. How many albums and singles have you recorded?
Throughout my life, I've recorded 2 albums so far. One in my teenagehood called Semillas de Paz, Seeds of Peace. And recently, in 2024, I released the latest album, Cantos de la Montaña, which includes Poor Man in it.
Could you tell us what it was like growing up in the countryside in Colombia?
Growing up in the countryside in Colombia was a lovely experience. The scenery and the nature there is just out of this world. But more importantly, and in relation to this song, the experience of sharing with Colombian peasants is absolutely astonishing and wonderful. They're so kind, so generous, so giving, so helpful, and that's why I wrote this song. It's a thank you to them. It's like, you know, this is my homenaje. It's a word in Spanish. It's you know, it's my theme song to all these wonderful people with such rich hearts. Even though they could be struggling themselves, they're willing to share. They're willing to share their last dinner with you.
Wow, that's so cool. Having produced your own music on limited resources, what advice would you give to up-and-coming artists who would like to release their own music?
My advice to upcoming artists, if you want to record a new album or a new single and you can't afford it, call me. No, I'm joking. Definitely think out of the box. Think of hiring producers and musicians in other countries where they're more affordable. You'll be helping them, they'll be helping you, and it will all be possible. This is how I managed to do my album. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to afford it here in the UK.
Ironically, the poor man is who has the richest heart. It was always the poor man who smiled from his soul. Ironically, forgotten, who taught me about empathy and pain. Yes, the poor, the downtrodden, the weak, the forgotten, who gave me shelter from the rain.